I would like to welcome you to my presentation about the EU guidelines on the promotion and protection of freedom of religion or belief. My name is Fruzsina Eniko Toth. I'm a student at the Károly Gáspár University of the Reformed Church in Hungary, where I study international relations. This semester, I took part in the Erasmus program at the Link Campus University in Rome in the Master's course International Relations. This presentation was made as part of my course Religions, Politics, Identities, which is part of the EU project Freedom of Belief and Right to Information. First of all, I would like to introduce you to the content of this presentation. I will give you a brief overview about the EU guidelines in general, then tell you about the reason of action and the key principles of these guidelines, as well as the actions and measures that are taken to promote and protect these specific freedoms. I will also show you the specific areas of focus as well as the way these guidelines are implemented in practice. So first of all, what are the EU guidelines on the promotion and protection of freedom of religion or belief? They were adopted by the Council of the European Union on the 24th of June 2013. These guidelines are part of the EU's broader human rights policy, and their intention is to promote and protect the right to freedom of thought, conscience, religion, or belief. There are several reasons of action, and the first and primary aim is to promote and protect the right to freedom of religion or belief, as it is defined in international human rights law. Furthermore, these guidelines aim to prevent violations of these freedoms, and they respond effectively to violations of these freedoms when they occur. Finally, the support of these freedoms for all, which ensures that all individuals, regardless of their religion or belief, are afforded the same rights and protections. There are several key principles. First of all, the universality, which means that these freedoms are universal and apply to all human beings without being discriminated against, as well as the interrelatedness. Freedom of religion or belief is interrelated with other human rights, including the rights to freedom of expression, assembly, and association. These guidelines also ensure that laws and policies do not discriminate against individuals or groups based on their religion or belief, as well as the secularism, which is the separation of state and religion. In that way, the guidelines ensure that the state remains neutral in religious matters. I will introduce you to the actions and measures that are taken to promote and protect these freedoms. First of all, EU delegations and embassies are instructed to monitor the situation of the freedom of religion or belief in their respective countries, and they are demanded to report on violations when they occur. Furthermore, engaging in diplomatic dialogues with third countries and participating in multilateral forums to promote the freedom of religion or belief. Support to civil society means providing support to civil society organizations who are working on freedom of religion or belief issues. And finally, providing training on freedom of religion or belief for EU staff and to raise awareness about the importance of these specific freedoms. I will show you the specific areas of focus. First of all, the legal and institutional frameworks. These guidelines encourage countries to develop legal frameworks that protect the freedom of religion or belief, as well as the promotion of education and public awareness of these freedoms. And a very important area is to take appropriate action against violations of these freedoms, including, for example, through public statements, diplomatic measures, and the support of these victims. Finally, the engagement with religious leaders and communities, which means to build partnerships with religious leaders and communities to promote mutual understanding and respect. There are ways how these guidelines are implemented. The EU encourages its member states to develop country strategies to find approaches to the freedom of religion or belief to the specific context of each country, which can be different, of course. Another guideline is the integration of these freedoms in human rights dialogues to ensure that the freedom of religion or belief is a regular part of human rights dialogues, also with third countries. The incorporation of freedom of religion or belief into external assistance programs, including development cooperation, and finally, to work with international organizations, for example, with the United Nations, to promote the freedom of religion or belief not only in the EU, but also globally. I am coming to the conclusions. First of all, let me give you a very brief explanation about these guidelines. The main goal is to promote and protect the freedom of religion or belief in the EU, but also especially globally, which is important because the discrimination based on religion or belief is a serious issue globally as well. So this way the European Union has the power to create guidelines that can be implemented globally to make sure that nobody is discriminated against based on their religion or freedom or expression in general. These guidelines are part of the fundamental human rights, and it is a very important mission of the EU to make sure that all citizens can practice their religion or belief freely without being discriminated against. Finally, I would like to thank you for your attention. I hope I could give you a quick overview about these guidelines and explain why they are important, and I gave you a brief understanding about these issues and actions and the main goal. Thank you very much.